Understanding and listening to your body's signals can make all the difference in when you begin and when you stop eating. It can also make all the difference in your long-term weight control. The goal of this exercise is to discover your body's hunger and satiety signals so that you avoid eating when you are not physically hungry. Why do I plan on eating right now? What sensations am I feeling in my stomach? What sensations am I feeling in my head or the rest of my body? What number do I give this hunger on the 0 to 10 scale? I've decided I'm physically hungry and I'm going to eat. Am I going to sit down and eat mindfully without distractions? As my hunger sensations subside while eating, what am I noticing in my stomach, head, and the rest of my body? I'm done eating. What number do I give this feeling on the 0 to 10 scale? What else am I noticing about this eating experience?
I'm really hungry. Last time I ate was 11 o'clock. I ate 11 o'clock. But you know why? And it's an excuse. But I went from lunch, getting ready for a pre-op education, to here. So
what physical sensations do you have?
My stomach is growling.
Your stomach's growling.
My stomach is growling.
Does your head hurt, or does anything else bother you, or just your stomach?
Nope, I'm just thirsty too.
You're thirsty too.
And I've drank almost my full gallon of water, but I'm just thirsty, and it's probably because I'm hungry. When I go home, I'll eat, but I will try to control myself. You know, because that's even, I think when you have physical hunger, I think when you get really, really hungry,
we've waited too long.
We've waited too long. We can just you know, overdo also. Okay. I'll bet you every single one of us does it. At some point in time, we've all done it, right? I mean, I'm not going to lie, I have. So basically, first of all, what is really the definition of emotional eating? So the definition, it means turning to food for comfort, not because you're hungry. The chips, the chocolate cookies may give you that short-term release that, I feel so good, but it goes away. It doesn't last forever. But basically, a lot of times you're doing this when you're bored, when you're lonely, anxious, frustrated, depressed, angry, or stressed. I mean, you know, how many people, when you're at work and you're busy and you're just, oh my gosh, everything's so frustrating, and you're just kind of foraging through where you work, looking to see if you can find something to grub on. You know, I mean, I've been doing that, trying not to do that all week. It's been a rough week, but I got through. So that's basically what the definition of emotional eating is. It kind of divides out emotional hunger versus physical hunger. So physical hunger, you know, it builds gradually. You know, it just doesn't like, oh my gosh, I have to have something to eat, I have to have it now. And it usually strikes below the neck. So it's like, this is really where, you know, you're feeling it if you're emotionally hungry, but from here down, your stomach is actually growling. It doesn't make you feel that you've got this compulsion that you just have to go find something, forage for something, somehow, some way you have to find it. It usually happens several hours after you've had a meal. And it leads to feeling of satisfaction after you eat. Unlike emotional hunger, it usually comes on suddenly. There could be a trigger that could cause it. You want that ice cream. You just want a taste of that ice cream, okay? It results in an urgent need to eat that. How many people have done that even since this, you know, had it happen even since their surgery? You don't gotta lie to me, you can tell me the truth. Is unrelated to the last time you actually had a meal, okay? So there's no correlation between when you ate, you know. It's specific, often a particular food or brand. We all know what my weakness is, and what I look for is potato chips. And it leads to guilt or shame after eating. You get frustrated with yourself. Is that true? Yeah. So that's really kind of just some little highlights for emotional eating. Come on in, have a seat. So basically, what we're doing is we're talking about our triggers, our emotional eating triggers. It boils down again to this. And a lot of times there's a lot of grazing involved with it. There's a lot of grazing involved with it. And grazing will get you in trouble in a big old hot minute. Okay? Is this emotional eating? Karen got a call from friends who invite her to join at a local restaurant in 30 minutes just to hang out and talk. Karen has just finished dinner. She meets her friends and eats half a hamburger, some chips and salsa, and a few bites of cheesecake. Is that emotional eating? Here's another one. Ted travels every week for business. When he returns to his hotel room each night after a long day of meetings, he turns on the TV and snacks on chips, corn nuts, and popcorn. Is that emotional eating? It's boredom. Maybe he's lonely because, he's not with his family. So is this emotional eating? Gina works full-time and attends night school. Driving home at night, she's exhausted and pulls into the drive-thru for burger, fries, and a shake combo. Emotional? Yeah. Is she tired? It's all emotional. There's moods and things that affect us that lead us to emotionally eat. One last one. Ken's wife is returning to the workforce after being a stay-at-home mom. She's trained to become a chef. Every day Ken's asked to sit down and feast on her latest creations, and he does. What do you think? But he feels emotionally attached to her, doesn't he?
Hey Marcia, you sent me a message that last week you ate a whole container of ice cream in one night? Yes, the whole thing. And do you know what? That ice cream is there for my husband Ted. I'm not even really an ice cream lover. So that night last week, when do you remember first wanting to eat the ice cream? I was driving home from work. And what were you thinking about while you were driving? Do you remember? Well, I had just checked Facebook before I left and saw that a few of my girlfriends were getting together at a local bar for drinks, but they didn't invite me. What do you remember thinking when you saw that Facebook post? I didn't understand. I had just been out with them a few weeks ago and we had a great time. I tried to recall if I said something or did something to offend one of them. I know that Sheila and I don't see eye to eye in our politics, and I wondered if I'd said something to her, or maybe when we split the bill they didn't think I put in enough money, or maybe it could have been that I'd forgotten Kate's birthday the week before. Okay, Marcia, so you were having a lot of thoughts about what your friends could have been thinking about you. What emotions did that bring up? At first I was angry, pissed off. Then I guess I felt sad, excluded, lonely, and really confused because I thought they were my friends. So this is all while you're driving home from work, and at some point you decided you wanted to eat ice cream? Yeah, it just came to me. I wanted ice cream. I remember we had some in the freezer already, so I just kept driving. And what happened when you got home? I went straight to the freezer. At first, when I popped the lid open and took the first few bites, I thought that's all I would have. But I just kept going. Before I knew it, I was at the bottom of the container. I felt horrible. My head hurt, my stomach hurt, and I was really upset at myself for eating all of that ice cream. In the last week, have you eaten for any reason other than physical hunger? What happened? What were your thoughts about that situation? What emotions came up after you had those thoughts? Recall how those emotions led to you wanting to eat. After eating emotionally, how did you feel? Did the original situation improve? Develop your personal strategies to avoid emotional eating. Identify and replace. There's a situation that leads to thoughts and then emotions. You want to eat, but you've checked in with your physical hunger sensations and they're not there. Where are you? Home? Work? In your car? Are you alone or with a group? What time of day is it? Considering where you are and whom you're with, what can you do instead of eat? environment where you can be successful. It's not enough to say, I'm going to do something healthy instead of eat emotionally. You have to plan for it. If listening to music is your healthy alternative, create a playlist of songs that make you feel good. If you're ready to read that novel everyone is talking about, then buy it today, or download it on iBooks, or consider listening to it on Audible. A bath can be a great way to relax if you have all the special accoutrements, like candles, bath salts, and a tub pillow. If watching funny videos is a quick way to replace emotional eating, create a playlist on YouTube so the funniest videos are ready for you. And if you've got an ongoing situation that's bringing up a lot of emotions, consider talking with your friends ahead of time and let them know you might be calling when things get particularly challenging.
I will tell you, last night I think I had some emotional hunger. I was telling Adrian, I wanted cookies last night. I wanted oatmeal cookies. I really wanted oatmeal butterscotch cookies, but I didn't have them. But I had my husband make oatmeal cookies. And they weren't big, they were about this big, each cookie. I had, I'll lie, I won't lie, I had a few. And so this morning when I was getting ready to go to work, and I said to my husband, honey, how many cookies would you like me to leave for you today? He goes, a few. So I got a little plate, and I put 3 cookies on a plate, and I went to the trash can, and I opened up the bag with all the cookies in it and dumped it in the trash can that was at the curb. Because there was no way I was keeping that in my house. No way. I had what I wanted. Was I right for doing it? Probably not, but honestly, I just wanted it. I wasn't bored, I wasn't sad. Maybe I'd been a little stressed, but I had my cookies, I was fine, and I figured if I was fine, he had to be fine because I wasn't gonna let him stay in my house. He doesn't need them just like I don't need them. So, but, it was like, I do know a lot of times when I eat and I'm eating clean and eating the way I should, my hunger is satisfied, okay? And that's what I try to achieve.